Welcome back to the BookCast. Today, we are unpacking every layer of the incredible novel, The Adventures of Ferdinand Count Fathom. Get ready for a deep dive into its characters, themes, and the hidden meanings behind the story.
That's right. We're diving into a truly fascinating work by Tobias Smollett. It's a novel that kicks things off with this really specific and maybe a bit surprising mission right from the dedication.
Yeah.
It's far less about, a traditional hero's journey
Right.
and much more about holding up a kind of dark mirror to society,
Right.
reflecting the very vices it wants to expose and, deter.
Exactly. The author tells us straight away in his dedication that he's chosen a principal character from the purlieus of treachery and fraud. Now, purlieus, that means like the hidden shady edges, right?
Spot on. The fringes, the dodgy bits.
So right from the get-go, we know this isn't your typical story where the good guy wins. It's a pretty bold move, putting a character like that front and center. A figure meant not really to inspire, but to warn us.
And what's really striking here is the explicit moral purpose Smollett lays out. He genuinely wants this novel to be a, quote, beacon for the benefit of the unexperienced and unwary. He seems to have maybe a slightly cynical view of people. He thinks the fear of infamy and punishment is often a better way to stop bad behavior.
Than just hoping people will be good.
Exactly. Better than the promise of peace and happiness that virtue is supposed to bring. His goal, he says, is to unfold the mysteries of fraud.
Show us how the cons work.
Right. And to brand iniquity with reproach and shame. Basically, make villainy look ugly and, something you definitely don't want to be associated with. It's a very practical way of looking at storytelling.
So yeah, instead of getting us to root for this anti-hero, he wants us to be kind of repulsed, actually, and learn what not to do. It's sort of like a cautionary tale wrapped up in an adventure story, using Fathom's dark path to, light up the dangers for the rest of us.
Precisely. Smollett isn't just trying to entertain us with Fathom's cleverness, though there is plenty of that.
Oh, for sure.
He's explicitly trying to warn us. He even says he includes other things, different kinds of incidents, virtuous characters.
Right, to give us a break from all the badness.
Yeah, exactly. To prevent the mind from being fatigued, as he puts it, and to create a contrast, make the moral stand out more. It's all very deliberate.
A very calculated narrative design. Okay, so let's get into Fathom himself. His entrance into the world. It's something else.
Oh, it really is. His origins are unique, and they definitely signal the kind of slippery character he'll become. He first saw the light in Holland, right? But wasn't technically born till after the carriage arrived in Flanders.
Which messes with his nationality from the start.
Totally. The narrator even jokes that figuring out to what government he naturally owed allegiance is as tough as figuring out Homer's birthplace.
Nice touch.
It's a clever way to show how rootless he is. It foreshadows how he'll just shift identities later on, never really belonging anywhere.
And his mother. Wow. She adds another layer of chaos, doesn't she?
Definitely. An Englishwoman, apparently widowed 5 times in one campaign.
Just that phrase tells you everything about the brutal life she led. Constant war, loss, probably doing whatever it took to survive.
It really paints a picture of his environment. Opportunism, adaptation. That's what he learned from the cradle. Survival first.
And the parenting, or lack thereof, it's almost darkly funny.
It is, in a grim way. Instead of milk, he gets delicious nectar.
Which turns out to be?
Well, the stuff his mother doles out from a small cask that hung before her. Alcohol, basically.
No way.
Yeah. There's even a rumor about a flexible tube she's to feed him. It's not exactly your cozy nursery scene.
Not even close. So he's literally raised on the vices of the camp.
Pretty much. And his mother's camp qualifications. I mean, she's described roaming battlefields with a dagger in a bag, delivering, quote-unquote, disabled soldiers from their pain, which is just a chilling way of saying she killed them and stripped them for loot.
Good grief.
It uses the term Mussulman, which was an old term for Muslims, but here it likely means any enemy soldier, emphasizing the dehumanizing aspect of it all. This hard, amoral world that's Ferdinand's first school. It really drills into him that self-interest is all that matters.
It certainly explains a lot about his later behavior. Okay, so his mother meets a fittingly dramatic end.
She does. After cheering on soldiers, maybe thinking she's a good luck charm,
Right.
she gets caught stripping a wounded Hussar officer who was just pretending to be dead. He shoots her a brace of bullets in her brain.
Ouch. And Fathom, how does 9-year-old Ferdinand react?
Well, the book says he wasn't deeply affected. He'd apparently been weaned from her maternal caresses for a while.
Detached already.
Exactly. Already showing that spirit of docility, insinuation, and sagacity far above his years. Even then, he's calculating, looking out for number one.
And this is where Count Melville comes in.
Yes, this is crucial. Melville is an imperial officer whose life Fathom's mother had actually saved.
Yeah.
Though maybe, after thinking about robbing him first, the text is a bit ambiguous there.
Right. Melville sees these same qualities in the boy, the docility, the insinuation, the smarts, and takes him under his protection.
So, ironically, his mother's questionable activities actually get him a step up in the world.
Precisely. It's this unearned advantage, this social ladder that Fathom immediately starts to climb thanks to her.
And he uses those smarts right away, doesn't he? The story about the Frenchman plotting to rob the Count.
He does. While he's a page, he overhears them. Even with just a slender knowledge of French, he picks up enough to warn Melville.
Who then catches the thieves and deals with them.
Deals with them quite permanently, yes. And for Fathom, it looks like loyalty. It boosts his standing, confirms Melville's good opinion.
All gain. No real risk for him. He's already playing the angles.
That's Fathom in a nutshell. Turning danger into opportunity, crafting this image of integrity through a well-timed bit of information. He intuitively gets how to manage perceptions. It's a skill that becomes his main weapon.
Okay, so after the war, the Peace of Passarowitz, Melville takes Ferdinand home to Pressburg. And Fathom is treated like a favorite domestic. He gets the same education, same fun and games as the Count's actual son.
But they're totally different kids, right?
Night and day. The young Count Rinaldo is described as sort of boorish, awkward, quiet. Ferdinand, on the other hand, he's agreeable, lively, charming, total opposite.
And Smollett uses this to critique the teacher, the pedagogue.
Oh, absolutely. There's this great scene where Fathom hasn't done his homework translating Caesar because he was messing around all night.
Typical.
So he just copies Ronaldo's translation word for word. The teacher reads Fathom's first, praises it highly, then reads Ronaldo's, sees it's identical, and immediately accuses Ronaldo of copying Fathom and wants to punish him on the spot.
You're kidding. The teacher fell for it.
Completely. It just shows how Fathom's charm and sneakiness let him fool people, even authority figures. Highlights how superficial judgments can be.
So his talent for dissimulation, faking it, is clear really early on.
Absolutely. The book says his insidious principle of self-love leaves no room for actual virtue, but he's a master counterfeiter. He's calculated by nature to dupe even the most cautious.
A born con artist, literally designed for deceit.
Pretty much. And poor Ronaldo, the young Count, he's just overwhelmed with shame by the unfair accusation.
And later, his dad tells him to be nice to Fathom.
Yeah, Count Melville tells Ronaldo to consider Fathom special, so Ronaldo shows uncommon generosity. But other people see this kindness and twist it.
They think Ronaldo's just trying to benefit from Fathom's supposed talents.
Exactly. It just shows how Fathom poisons everything. Even genuine goodwill gets misinterpreted to make Fathom look good, or at least make others look calculating. It really sets the stage for his bigger cons.
Okay, so Fathom's early life basically hardwired him for immorality. Now let's dive into how he starts weaponizing charm and trust, especially when it comes to affections and money.
Right. So Ferdinand's now a young man, and he sets his sights on the Count's daughter, Mademoiselle Melville.
Not conventionally handsome, the book says.
No, but he has these expressive eyes and an elegant figure, attractive enough. And he immediately starts playing a game. He notices she loves music.
So he learns music.
He throws himself into it, starts playing and singing these really tender airs and passionate complaints, songs about heartbroken lovers. He even throws in sighs, has tears at command. Total performance.
You're putting on a show.
Completely. It's classic Fathom.
Yeah.
Observe, find the desire, and then manufacture the perfect response. He even fakes a terrible fever.
Just to test her feelings.
Exactly. Alarms the whole family, who, remember, think he's wonderful.
Yeah.
Shows how far he'll go, even messing with his own health, just to manipulate emotions.
Yeah.
Masterful control over his image.
And this fake illness has an unintended consequence.
It does. The book says it was productive of a consequence, which, though he had not foreseen it, he did not fail to convert to his own use.
Which is?
Teresa, Mademoiselle's maid. Turns out she's secretly in love with Fathom, and seeing him supposedly near death makes her confess everything.
Okay. So Fathom sees an opportunity here.
Instantly. He realizes he needs Teresa. He needs her access, her insights into Mademoiselle's private world to really make his move on the mistress.
So he strings Teresa along.
Oh, more than that. She's worried about her reputation, wants security, so she insists on a private marriage. Fathom agrees, swears an oath in the sight of heaven, promises a proper church wedding later, which obviously he has no intention of doing.
Of course not.
And the author jumps in here, calling the oath absurd, a ridiculous conjuration. But he also notes it's a sign that even in the most morally bankrupt people, there's often some lingering trace of religion, some need for justification, however twisted.
Interesting point. So Fathom's morality is just gone.
Yep.
And they start plotting in Teresa's bedroom.
Yep. And the plan for Mademoiselle is properly chilling.
Hmm.
Teresa's job is to subtly poison the young lady's mind, encourage guilty pleasure, mess with her ideas of dignity and virtue. It's not just seduction, it's systematic corruption.
Wow, how do they even start that?
It's incredibly detailed. First, Teresa pretends to be angry with Fathom, and he acts dismissive towards her, all for Mademoiselle's benefit.
Make it look like they're not allies.
Exactly. Then Teresa starts talking about Fathom to Mademoiselle, but using contradiction, comparisons, cavillings, and reproach, like subtly criticizing him in ways that actually make Mademoiselle defend him.
Like reverse psychology, making her argue for him.
Precisely. People tend to believe things more strongly if they've argued for them. Teresa also leaves dangerous books around, things meant to debauch the minds, and maybe slips things into her drinks. Mischievous preparations to warm her up.
Yikes. Does it work?
Not initially. Mademoiselle's virtue holds strong against these direct attacks.
So Fathom changes tactics.
He does. Realizes maybe direct corruption is too slow. He pivots to fraud. He gets Teresa to help him cheat Mademoiselle at cards, and more seriously, start embezzling her things.
How do they begin that?
Ingeniously. Nefariously. Fathom drops Mademoiselle's purse in a hallway where he knows Teresa's rival, another chambermaid, is likely to find it. He literally waits and watches.
Setting her up.
Perfectly. Teresa then discovers the post is missing, immediately accuses the other chambermaid. She even makes a show of demanding she be searched first to prove her innocence.
Very clever.
A search happens, and surprise, surprise, the purse, along with a sentimental medal Mademoiselle valued, is found in the innocent chambermaid's trunk.
Oh, that's low. Planting the medal, too.
Really twists the knife. The accused chambermaid, who's described as spirited, actually makes a veiled accusation against Teresa, but that just backfires.
Yeah.
It makes Teresa look even more virtuous in Mademoiselle's eyes.
So the innocent maid gets punished.
She's imprisoned and fired. Devastating for her. And for Fathom. It cements Teresa's reputation as trustworthy, making future thefts easier. He calls it setting up a false beacon to mislead Mademoiselle if anything else goes missing. Pure con artistry.
Creating a safety net for future crimes. Unbelievable.
And with Teresa now seen as totally trustworthy, they escalate. Small things disappear. Then a pair of valuable diamond earrings worth 500 florins.
Okay, that's serious money. They're getting bolder.
Definitely pushing it. Mademoiselle, obviously alarmed, tells her mother.
And they blame the poor chambermaid again?
Yep. She's already tainted goods. She gets imprisoned again. Fathom and Teresa make a big show of insisting they be searched too, along with everyone else. Teresa even offers to go to the magistrate herself.
All pre-planned theatric.
Exactly. A pre-concerted recrimination to make them look squeaky clean.
But the most shocking part, isn't that the end of it, is it?
Not even close. After the official inquiry goes nowhere, Count Melville himself starts suspecting someone else entirely. His own son, Rinaldo. He thinks Rinaldo stole the jewels for some secret lover and inamorata.
No, he actually blames his own son.
He does. It's maybe the most insidious part of the whole scheme. Fathom has managed to turn the father against his own child.
That's next level manipulation.
Absolutely brilliant in a horrifying way. And the outcome? The Count, heartbroken but believing his son is the culprit, decides to send Rinaldo away.
To get him out of trouble.
Sort of. For further education in Vienna. And guess who he sends with him as a trustworthy companion?
Oh, let me guess.
Fathom.
You got it. The Count gives Fathom gifts, resources, thinks he's this loyal, honorable guy who'll look after Rinaldo. Meanwhile, Fathom has already paid off Teresa with money and valuables before leaving.
So the consequences of his crime actually lead to more opportunity and reward for him. Perfect.
It's a perfectly executed loop of deceit. Okay, so Fathom has mastered the domestic sphere. Now let's see him take his talents international. Vienna, here they come.
Right. So in Vienna, Fathom hits the academy. Does he keep up the charm?
Oh, absolutely. He stands out immediately with his engaging manners, his lively, witty conversation. He's soaking up the social arts, but you know his real focus.
Finding new targets.
Always. He's like a shark constantly scanning the water. He checks out the high-stakes gambling scene.
And decides his edge isn't just sleight of hand, it's psychology. fascinating the judgment, influencing passions. That's his game.
Smart. Does he work alone?
Not this time. He spots another gaming genius, a Tyrolese guy at the academy, and forms an alliance. An offensive and defensive one.
A partnership in crime.
Basically. Fathom provides the strategy, the intelligence, the planning. The Tyrolese handles the risk of execution, the actual playing and cheating. Fathom stays behind the scenes, minimizing his own danger.
Clever. What's their first move?
A classic setup involving their travel companion, Ronaldo. The Tyrolese wins big off Ronaldo when he's drunk.
Okay.
Then Fathom steps in, playing the outraged, honorable friend. He sends the Tyrolese a formal challenge, demanding he return the money, accusing him of taking advantage of Ronaldo's unguarded hours, threatens a duel.
But it's all an act.
Completely. Fathom gets to look brave and principled with zero actual risk. The Tyrolese, playing his part, immediately gives the money back to Ronaldo, pretending to be insulted that his honor was questioned.
And Ronaldo buys it.
Hook, line, and sinker. He thinks Fathom is just being a great friend, steps in to smooth things over. Fathom gets praised, and crucially, the Tyrolese now has Ronaldo's complete trust.
Which opens the door for more designs upon the young gentleman's purse.
Exactly. It's a masterclass in manipulating trust through fake conflict.
So gambling is sorted. What about romance? Does Vienna treat him better?
Initially, no. His lack of a title and known family holds him back from, high society women. They have standards, apparently.
Huh. Imagine that.
So Fathom, ever adaptable, lowers his sights, finds a humbler sphere, the household of a wealthy jeweler. If he can't play in the big leagues, he'll dominate the minors.
Okay, so how does he infiltrate this family?
Masterfully. He tailors his approach to each person. Smokes and talks gems with the husband, flatters the talkative wife, plays violin and sings for the daughter, Wilhelmina. Total charm offensive on all fronts.
Divide and conquer.
Pretty much. And he quickly picks up on the tension between Wilhelmina and her stepmother. Classic family dynamic.
And exploits it.
Naturally. He becomes the stepmother's confidant, listens to her complain about Wilhelmina, which makes the stepmother adore him.
Okay, he's got the wife on side. What about the daughter, Wilhelmina?
That's even more artful. He plays on her vanity, pretends to be overcome by her beauty, stammers, acts flustered, declares himself her devoted adorer.
And she falls for it.
Completely. She thinks his awkwardness is genuine passion, laps up his fake praises, his encomiums. Music helps again, setting the mood. His affected raptures just sweep her off her feet.
So he sets up a rendezvous.
With Wilhelmina, yes, in her room. But the stepmother bursts in, suspicious, threatening, bloody murder.
Oh, boy. Fathom hides.
Dives into a wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
The jeweler comes in, searches, but the candle conveniently blows out, and Fathom escapes in the confusion.
Lucky break.
And the jeweler just thinks it was a random thief. Completely clueless.
But Fathom's not just after the daughter, is he?
Oh, no. He's simultaneously pursuing the jeweler's wife, who's described as perfectly amorous and falls for his flattery just as easily.
He arranges a meeting with her, too. This guy has a nerve.
Incredible nerve. And it leads to another close call. He ends up hiding in a wardrobe again, this time in the husband's own bedroom.
You cannot be serious.
Deadly serious. The husband comes home drunk, thinks there's a ruffian in the wardrobe, kicks it over.
What? How does he escape this time?
The wife thinks fast, blows out the light, and lets Fathom slip out. He's shaken, but guess what? He still goes through with a later rendezvous with her. Nothing stops him. Though he does decide maybe seducing women in that particular house is too risky going forward.
Smart move, finally. So he's got both the wife and daughter wrapped around his finger. Now what?
Now he cashes in. He turns his good fortune, as the book sarcastically calls it, toward his real goal, avarice and fraud. They become his ministers and purveyors.
Wow.
He pretends to Wilhelmina that he's lost money gambling and needs help. She gives him a valuable gold chain, a family heirloom, claiming it's worth less than it is.
And he pretends he doesn't want to take it.
Of course. Makes her feel like he values her more than the gold. Classic manipulation.
Okay, that chain sounds like trouble waiting to happen.
And it is. The jeweler demands the chain for his birthday. Apparently he always wears it then.
Uh-oh. Wilhelmina doesn't have it?
Nope. She'd foreseen the demand, though, so she puts on a huge performance, screaming, crying, pretending it's lost, throwing things around, total chaos.
And the stepmother joins in.
Oh, yeah. She's already been fed lines by Fathom, suggesting Wilhelmina is irresponsible. So she jumps into the frantic search, probably enjoying Wilhelmina's distress. It turns into a whole scene with guests watching.
So who does the jeweler blame?
Now, because the wife has been subtly poisoning his mind against Wilhelmina, he starts suspecting the wife of hiding the chain to feather her own nest.
Wow. He hires a spy.
Hires a Swiss guy to watch his wife. Fathom nearly gets caught visiting her, but spins another elaborate tale about retrieving a ring for Count Melville.
Does he involve Ronaldo again?
He does. He blames a fake gambling loss of Ronaldo's to explain why this non-existent ring needed retrieving. It's incredibly convoluted, but it works in the moment.
But the wife stays suspicious.
She does. She hires her own spy, this sour old lady. Fathom realizes he's being watched.
So what does he do? Play spy games.
Exactly. He sends his valet, Maurice, dressed as him, to exchange fake letters with Wilhelmina, knowing the spy is watching. Testing the waters, gathering info.
Okay, this is getting complicated.
And then he sets a trap for the stepmother. Sends her a fake letter, lures her to a place where her husband ambushes her, thinking she's meeting a lover.
That's just cruel. Does Fathom watch?
Watches from across the street. Takes ineffable satisfaction in her humiliation. Then sends her a nasty letter accusing her of betraying him.
He really enjoys twisting the knife. Okay, Vienna seems pretty much played out for him now.
Yeah, time to move on. Count Melville recalls him and Ronaldo. But Fathom doesn't want military service.
So he fakes an illness again.
Bingo. Claims he's suddenly paralyzed. Laments how he can't be a brave soldier. Total act.
And then he gets miraculously better.
Gradually, yes. Especially when Melville insists on sending him away somewhere nice for his health. It's the perfect excuse to get out of the army. Another brilliant evasion.
Okay, so he avoids the army. What's the next big move? Betrayal seems likely.
You know Fathom well. He decides his future lies away from the Melvilles, probably in England, but first, a stop in Paris. And he needs help escaping the military camp. Who does he call?
Not the Tyrolese again.
The very same. His old gaming partner. And this is where Fathom hits peak ruthlessness.
No.
He decides to frame Ronaldo, breaks into Ronaldo's chest, steals his cash and jewels, messes up the tent to make it look like Ronaldo robbed himself and deserted. Then he rides off with the Tyrolese, leaving Ronaldo to take the fall.
That's cold. Betraying the guy whose family took him in, whose companion he was supposed to be?
Absolutely chilling, but there's a twist.
Oh, the Tyrolese isn't just going along with it.
Fathom gets paranoid. He knows the Tyrolese has a dangerous temerity of temper, a furious rage of acquiring. He thinks the Tyrolese might betray him.
So Fathom decides to betray the betrayer first.
Tries to. In a town called Bar-le-Duc, Fathom plans to ditch the Tyrolese. He rides off, leaves a blank letter, and then checks his own bags. They're full of rusty nails. The Tyrolese beat him to it, swapped the bags earlier. Fathom, the master con artist, got conned.
Huh. Poetic justice. Or maybe just ironic comeuppance. How does he take it?
He's furious, obviously, a bitter pill. But the book says he mastered his mortification pretty quickly and immediately starts plotting revenge. Defeat just makes him more determined. He never learns a moral lesson, just how to scheme better next time.
Okay, so he's alone, broke, and fuming. What happens next? This feels like it could get dark.
It gets very dark. He's riding through a forest at night. His guide deserts him. He's terrified. A huge storm hits. And for a moment, just a moment.
His conscience bothers him.
Yeah, it rose up in judgment against him.
Yeah.
A rare crack in the facade. He feels genuine dismay and distraction.
But it doesn't last, I bet. He finds shelter.
Finds this incredibly creepy, desolate inn run by an old woman, a hoary hag. The room has straw all over the floor, and the door locks from the outside.
Red flags everywhere.
Fathom thinks so, too. His own crooked nature makes him suspicious. He feels around in the straw.
And finds, oh no,
a bleeding corpse hidden under the straw. His worst fears confirmed.
Good God. Trapped in a murder inn, what does he do? Panic.
He's terrified, filled with unspeakable horror, heart pounding, hair bristling. But then despair gives him this weird species of resolution, like liquid courage.
Okay, so what's the plan?
It's grimly ingenious. He undresses the corpse, puts it in the bed where he was supposed to sleep, covers it up, puts out the light, and hides in the straw himself, pistols ready.
He's using the corpse as a decoy.
Exactly. And sure enough, around midnight, 2 men creep in. They use a lantern to aim, and one stabs the body in the bed right through the heart.
Unbelievable. They leave.
They leave. Then the old hag comes back to loot the body. That's when Fathom makes his move.
Jumps out.
Sort of. He appears like a ghost, terrifying her. Then he forces her at gunpoint to guide him out of the forest, threatening to kill her if she betrays him.
Does he report the murders?
Nope. He escapes and reflects that, honestly, the murderer's principles weren't that different from his own.
Wow. That's quite the admission.
It's a moment of chilling self-awareness. He knows the hag will double-cross him if she gets the chance, so he doesn't stick around. He's out of there, heading for Shello. Survival, not justice, is the priority. He even considers bragging about his bravery later, but decides against it, knowing how close his own morality is to the killers.
Okay, that end scene was intense. He makes it to Paris.
He does. And he decides it's time for a rebrand. He'll be Count Fathom, a private gentleman. Allows him to observe, gather intel. He impresses people at a public dining place and ordinary by speaking multiple languages, tailoring his approach to everyone.
Chameleon to Fathom.
Back in action, he targets an English knight, Sir Stentor. Really sour guy, thinks everyone's after his money. Fathom sees him as a perfect mark because he's so suspicious.
How does that work?
Fathom plays the completely disinterested friend. Never asks for anything, seems above money. It disarms the suspicious knight.
Clever. What about that nocturnal riot at the brothel?
Ah, yes. Total chaos. Drunken fights over women. Fathom initially hangs back, observes.
Stays out of it.
Only until the madam and her bouncers, her myrmidons, arrive. Then he jumps in, playing the peacemaker.
Making himself look good in the chaos.
Always. He mediates between Sir Stentor and a German count, smooths things over, gets gifts and admiration from both for his troubles. Even gets cashed off an abbé who got his nose broken. He profits from the mess he likely helped stir up.
But his confidence gets the better of him.
It does. He starts winning too much at cards from these guys. And he ignores the other professional cheats, the Knights of Industry, who wanted him to join their little group, their triumvirate.
Too arrogant to team up.
Thinks he's too good for them. Big mistake.
They get revenge.
Oh, yeah. The target appears, another rich English country booby. Fathom thinks it's easy money, but it's a setup.
The guys he snubbed.
The very same. They use loaded dice. Fathom, Mr. Finesse himself, gets cleaned out, fairly foiled at his own weapons. They even mock him about his supposed Polish count title as they leave.
Ouch. Back to square one.
Worse. He's broken Paris, has to play his violin on the street for money, and he sees his old friends laughing about how they tricked the Polish count, rock bottom. But is he defeated? Yeah, he's already plotting reprisals.
Okay, he's the next spark. Needs to be a big one.
He finds Don Diego de Zelos, a Spanish nobleman living in hiding, disguised as a poor Persian jewel dealer named Ali.
How does Fathom gain his trust?
Feigns deep sympathy, generous and cordial compassion, offers help, presses money on him, knowing the Don is desperate. Eventually, the proud Spaniard accepts the fake charity.
And Don Diego tells Fathom his story.
A really tragic, intense story, completely different world from Fathom's scams. It's all about Spanish honor, love, betrayal, bloody revenge.
What happened to him?
He talks about his military glory, marrying a beautiful wife, Antonia, having a wonderful daughter, Serafina. Everything seemed perfect until a perfidious wretch, a German tutor, corrupts both the wife and daughter. Don Diego finds out his wife helps Serafina elope with the tutor.
Oh, wow. What does he do?
He completely snaps. Ecstasy of rage, the book calls it. He hunts down the German tutor and stabs him to death.
Okay.
And then, to preserve the family honor, he poisons both his wife and his daughter.
He poisons Serafina, too. His own daughter.
Yes. He describes it as a necessary sacrifice, demanded by his honor, drowning out love and compassion. Then he fled Spain. It's brutal, driven by this extreme code of honor.
That's horrifying. Why is he in hiding now?
After he fled, someone back home accused him of desertion, treason, stealing money. He doesn't know who. So he's disguised as Ali, living in poverty, trying to clear his name and get revenge, but he can't sell his remaining jewels without revealing himself.
And he trusts Fathom with these jewels.
Sees Fathom as this honorable, compassionate man, his last hope. He gives Fathom jewels worth 1,000 crowns to sell for him. Fathom accepts, weeping.
Tears of joy for the jewels, not sympathy.
Exactly. Tears of joy for the loot. Next morning, Fathom tells the Don some fake story about the sale, then boom, he's off to England, leaving Don Diego completely broke and betrayed. Again.
And didn't he leave someone else behind in Paris, too?
Oh, right. Almost forgot.
Yeah.
His landlord's daughter, who he'd gotten pregnant after promising marriage, just ditches her. Yeah. Fathom's wake of destruction is just relentless, no empathy whatsoever.
Okay. England awaits. Fathom arrives with cash.
Travels to Bologna first, sees the White Cliffs of Albion, calls it his native country, which is ironic given his birth. Hires a new valet, Maurice.
Gives him instructions?
Coaches him thoroughly. Their new cover. They're French gentlemen, pretending not to speak English. Why? So they can listen in on conversations, gather intel for future scams. Always planning.
And his landing at Deal. the Scipio thing.
Oh, yeah, pure theater. He slips getting off the boat, lands on his hands, and dramatically quotes the Roman general Scipio.
Aha! Old England, I have thee fast.
Declaring his intention to conquer the place through fraud.
Subtle. What are his first impressions on the coach to London?
He's fascinated by the English freedom, opulence, and convenience, and the people. He's squished between a large Quaker and a loud landlady, listening to their very blunt arguments, taking notes, basically, learning the culture to exploit it. But then things get complicated on the coach trip.
They do. One passenger, a smuggler type, gets it in his head that Fathom is the pretender's son, the Jacobite claimant to the throne. There was a huge reward out for him.
30,000 pounds. So the smuggler thinks he's hit the jackpot.
Totally. At the next inn, he raises the alarm. Fathom gets seized, dragged before a magistrate, accused of being a state criminal. Chaos.
How does Fathom handle that?
Cool as a cucumber, lets them search him, shows his money, his jewels, and then, luckily...
Who shows up?
That young nobleman he knew from Vienna. The one who owed him a favor. Sort of. He acts as interpreter. And Fathom improvises.
Brilliantly. The nobleman reads out a fake letter, supposedly from the Countess of Fathom, to her dear son, making it sound like Fathom is just a rich young man running away from a forced marriage back home.
And they buy it.
Completely. Fathom is released with apologies. But wait, there's more. Fathom's valet, Maurice, steps up and accuses the smuggler of smuggling, reveals all the contraband hidden in the guy's luggage.
Turning the table.
Perfectly. Smuggler gets arrested, Fathom looks like an innocent victim, gets praised, even gets compensation from the smuggler's seized goods. Disaster averted, profit made, reputation enhanced, double win.
Incredible. Okay, his reputation is solid now. Who does he target next? He met someone on the coach, didn't he?
Eleanor. Described as an innocent, unsuspicious country damsel, Fathom sees her as easy prey. He uses a singular manner of attack.
How so?
Plays on her innocence and nervousness. He actually steals her purse on the coach, hides it. She discovers the loss, gets hysterical, drinks too much canary wine to cope.
Gets drunk and vulnerable.
Exactly. Fathom, while not taking advantage of her during her delirium, waits for the right moment. He lets the intoxication lower her defenses, then moves in, slowly undermining her bulwarks of chastity.
And she gives in.
The text is quite stark. It's as she submits, with all the transports of a joyful city that opens its gates to receive a darling prince, suggests her virtue completely collapses under his manipulation. She looks back on her previous principles like a disagreeable and tedious dream.
That's horrifying. He didn't just seduce her, he reprogrammed her.
It's a chilling depiction of psychological conquest. Okay, so Fathom's in London. Who's the first person he runs into?
Let me guess. The Tyrolese.
You got it. Now going by the name Ratchcali. And despite Ratchcali betraying him with the rusty nails...
Fathom hugs him like a long-lost friend.
Yep, clasped him in his arms. Because Fathom sees opportunity. Ratchcali, who's had his own run-ins with London cheats, lost money to the same guys who fleeced Fathom in Paris, also sees the benefit of teaming up again. Purely business.
And Ratchcali thinks London is perfect for them.
Oh yeah. Calls it a city made for adventurers. A place where a skilled artist can get rich off fools without worrying about the law. A vast masquerade ripe for the picking.
So Ratchcali has ideas for how they should operate.
He lays out the options for knights of the industry. Be a valet, a quack doctor, empiric, a musician, or a foreign count.
And he thinks Fathom is perfect for the count role.
Says he was designed by Nietzsche for it, so they get right to it. Ratchcali sets Fathom up with fancy lodgings, a new wardrobe, servants, all sourced cheaply from the spoils of Monmouth Street, the second-hand clothes district. Instant makeover.
What happens to Eleanor in all this?
Oh, Fathom just tasks Ratchcali with getting rid of her. She's shocked, faints, then becomes furious and distracted. Her mind snaps.
Yeah.
Ratchcali has her conveyed into the hospital of Bedlam. Just like that. Another life destroyed and discarded. Utterly ruthless.
Jesus. Okay, so Fathom launches himself into London society.
Grand entrance. Gets a fancy carriage, coat of arms, the works. Visits that nobleman who helped him out. Uses that connection. Quickly becomes popular, carried for his charm and conversation.
Does he reveal all his talents at once?
No, he's smarter than that. He contrived to spring a new mine of qualification every day. Constantly surprising people with new skills. Building the mystique.
Like what? What skills does he pretend to have?
Everything. Great speaker, knows languages. Math claims he could disprove Newton without knowing the first thing about it. Politics, military strategy, art, music. He pretends to be a perfect Orondates, a famous romantic hero in gallantry. Master storyteller, singer, violinist. He's the dear count. a charming man. The nonpareil.
Wow. And they pull scams together.
Constantly. Ingenious stuff. Fathom wears a huge fake diamond, lets people admire it. Then Rajkali poses as the jeweler who owns it and sells it for a fortune, with Fathom acting like he was just doing the guy a favor wearing it.
Nice. What else? The fiddles.
Ah, the fiddles. He gets old, worthless violins, fakes a Cremona mark on them like Stradivarius.
Makes them look valuable.
Then he plays them himself, making them sound amazing, ravishingly delightful. People rave about the instruments, buy them for huge markups, 20 or 30 guineas clear profit each time. He's manipulating the whole market through performance.
And art, too. Becomes a connoisseur.
Sells old, crazy pictures as masterpieces. The narrator jokes he could pass off a barber's bowl as ancient Roman pottery. He sets the trends. A certain wallpaper pattern even gets named Fathom. His influence is total, which says a lot about the gullibility he's exploiting. Smollett's definitely poking fun at high society's lack of real taste. So he's conquered society, art, music. What's next? Medicine.
You guessed it. Heads to Bath, sets himself up as a sort of doctor, wins a public debate against a real doctor about why Bristol's spa water is warm.
How? By knowing medicine?
Nope. By ditching the doctor's complicated theories and offering a simple, relatable one about subterranean volcanoes. It sounds plausible, appeals to common sense, and makes the old doctor look foolish. Fathom wins over the crowd with his smooth talk and elegant address.
So people start flocking to him.
Absolutely. He becomes hugely popular. Patients shower him with gifts, china, snuff boxes, jewels. He gets access to everyone, especially the women. The book even hints he cures infertility through his personal vigor. His prescriptions are tasty and harmless, basically placebos. It's just another scam for profit and pleasure.
Okay, he seems unstoppable.
Sure.
But Bath is where he meets his match.
His last major target there, yes. Another female adventurer. She pretends to be sick to get his medical advice.
The start of a no more.
Right. But this time, Fathom actually falls for her. They get married.
And it's a trap. He realizes too late he's been played.
Yeah.
Foiled at his own weapons.
Yeah.
The master deceiver, deceived. Delicious irony.
How does he react? Does he lose it?
No, that's the thing. Even after realizing he's been tricked, he tries to regain control. Fakes being happy about the marriage, subtly encourages her to have affairs, thinking he can use it against her later. Still scheming, but she's one step ahead.
Way ahead. He tries to set a trap for her, arrange a fake rendezvous with another man so he can catch her. He even has his buddies ready to burst in on his signal.
Let me guess. She turns it around on him.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
She sets her own trap. Fathom walks right into it thinking he's the one catching her. His own associates burst in.
And find Fathom in bed with his new wife.
Exactly. She immediately screams, "Ruined and undone," faints, plays the perfect victim.
Oh, that's brilliant. Fathom is caught red-handed in his own setup.
Utterly trapped. He's taken prisoner, realizes it was a conspiracy from the start, and he's terrified of facing an English jury, knowing they'll dig into his past and that the witnesses are all part of the setup. The manipulator is finally cornered.
So he needs bail to avoid prison.
Desperately needs it to avoid Newgate Prison. Who steps in?
Has to be Rajkali.
Old, reliable Rajkali. He consults a lawyer who's very reassuring, says the law has plenty of loopholes, implies witnesses can be not incorruptible, suggests one man's oath was as good as another's.
So they start bribing witnesses.
Looks like it. They hire lawyers, start spreading money around. The lawyer says things are in an excellent train. The trial gets postponed because a key witness hasn't quite been brought over yet. It shows the legal system is just as corruptible as everything else Fathom deals with. Wow. So even facing prison, the scheming continues. What a story.
Absolutely relentless.
And there you have it. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us and this story. The tale of Ferdinand Count Fathom is, quite a ride, isn't it? A stark reminder that cunning and deceit, well, they might bring short-term success, but often lead to a serious downfall. Or at least you eventually meet someone just as crooked as you are.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What really counts as success? Can a life built entirely on fraud ever really be fulfilling or peaceful? For Fathom, it seems like even when he's at the top, danger is always lurking.
Yeah. Something to think about. If you enjoyed it, a simple like or subscribe helps the channel out more than you know. Be good and take care.